Hello guys, we continue to create our venue management or real estate management website based on the hirespace.com venue booking website, and currently we are in lesson 4, part 4 of this series, and now we will take care of the seeders, so dummy data or semi-fake data to test our homepage. So we have 3 things to seed. We have venues or featured venues, we have locations, we have event types, and locations. So 3 things. And that seed data helps not only for testing but for other team members. So for example, you hire another developer or you join, like you're joined by a new teammate, then installation of the project with seeds would massively help to understand which part means what exactly. So let's seed those 3 things, and the data will be taken from the original website that we're trying to clone. So here inspiring venues are event types, and here we have locations, 4 cities from UK, and venues. Let's start with generating some seeds, but actually before that I will show you that we do have some seeds already from the admin panel. That I've used my own quick admin panel here, but we don't really care about those for now. So we create new seeders, and we do PHP artisan make seeder. For example, let's start with event types table seeder. That's a common thing to end up those classes in table seeder. That's kind of a common practice, but it's not necessarily has to be like that, so feel free to change that. And then in event table seeder, we basically will seed event types as array, and we will fill in soon. And then for each event types as event type. I love PHP Storm for auto-completing a lot of things. We do event type, create, and we will fill it in soon. So event type, for that I prefer to have that on top, so use like that, event type. And here in event type we need only 2 fields, name and slug, from what I remember. Yeah, event types, name and slug, yeah, correct. So name will be event type, and slug will be str slug, Laravel function, str slug from event type. That, and event types will be just from the home page. So we have which is that, conferences, award ceremonies. What else do we have here? The unusual, private dining, meetings, and let's skip Christmas parties because it's kind of seasonal, so meetings and parties. And we'll have 6 instead of 7, meetings and parties. And for that str, probably we need to use str like this. So again, illuminate support, use this like this. Right, and I think that's okay, and let's add that to database seeder as event types table seeder class. And let's run migrate fresh seed and see if it appears on our homepage. Migrate fresh seed. It would delete all the database tables and remigrate them, and also run seeders. Event types table seeder successful, and let's refresh our homepage and see what we have here. So some here on top, we should have those 6 things. Yeah, exactly. And for the icons, I've left them intentionally just as they are, because we don't have any other icons representing the event types. So feel free to play around afterwards. Actually, by the way, I will put all the code on GitHub after the whole series is done. So yeah, we have 6 venue types, and later we will build the search pages for each of them. But basically, here's how you create a seeder. And I will do the same thing for location now, but with locations we will have photos, and this will be an interesting part because we are using Spatie MediaLibrary, and I will show you that a bit later. But for now, let's make a seeder for locations. So locations table seeder. and pretty much the same thing. There will be 4 locations, and I have the pictures, photos for them. So London, Manchester, Liverpool, and Birmingham. Right, so same thing, locations, array of strings, and I'll be for each locations as location. We do location create stuff. So name will be location, and slug will be str, again str slug from location. I should have probably copy pasted some parts of that, but anyway. So use this, and also use app location. Use app location here, and in locations we have London, array of London. What was the order? Manchester, Liverpool, and Birmingham, right? Birmingham. And it should show in the home page on the bottom. So new venues for you, discover spaces in. It's empty for now. Remember we had pictures of guys here, so it's empty because we reseeded the database but didn't seed anything in locations. So let's do it now. Locations table seeder. Locations table seeder class. And let's remigrate fresh and seed again. Okay, and let's refresh the page. Discover spaces in London, Manchester, Liverpool, and Birmingham. Let's remove those real estate agents and all of that for now. I'm sorry for the background noise. That's my dog shooting it from home. That's my dog playing around and coughing. Anyway, back to the business. So let's remove all of those from home blade. So in home blade we have for each 4 locations, and we don't need anything here. So real estate agent. We don't have real estate agents. For us it will be locations. So London, Manchester, and Liverpool. And now let's replace those with actual photos of cities. And I have 4 photos, 200 by 200 pixels. I've saved them in public images locations. And currently we use Spatie MediaLibrary, as I said, to store the data, to store the pictures. And the way it works, for those of you who don't know, it stores the data in media table, media database table, and stores the files in storage. By default it's storage app public, but it depends how you configure your file system and folders. But the way you use that, actually, let's go to their documentation, Spatie MediaLibrary. Basically that package allows you to assign some picture or any file, to be honest, with any model. So associate file with Eloquent models. That's how it works. So to seed those data, those pictures to the data with locations, we have to do something like location, let's call it location object, and then do location object, add to media collection, from what I remember, add to media. So add media to media collection, and there should be add media from, right, found it, add media from URL is the method. So add media from URL, and URL would be in our case public path, then images, locations, and then slug, so same slug, and we will probably put that into a separate variable. So slug will be this, and then so we'll have slug dot JPEG, and then to media collection, and media collection will be called photo. So every location will have photo, and to be able to do that, I have to perform such stuff in location object, in location model. I need to implement has media, those has media traits, and also in here I have photo attribute to get the media. right? And then if we go back to our location table seeder, that should probably work. Let's double check if the folder is correct. So images, locations, and slug.jpg to media collection. Let's run the migrate fresh seed again, and let's see if it actually works. Yay, success, locations table seeder. And now let's see what happens here. In the media, there should be 4 new lines, and it uses so-called polymorphic relationships. So those two fields, so model type is location and model ID is 1, 2, 3, and 4 for locations. Then for locations, we have those 4 items. And in the file system, we have, if we go back to our main folder, we have storage, app, public, and then those 4 folders. So all those files were copied and also generated thumbs. Thumbs are generated by this function, register media conversions. So that's even deeper into Laravel Media Library. So we do have those photos. Now how to get it from the media library to show on the home page. So instead of this, there should be some code, right? So from what I remember, it's location, get first media URL, and collection name photo. Photo should correspond to the same thing as this, so media collection photo, and in the database, what is the name? Yeah, this is the collection name photo. So we're getting first URL for photo, and alt, let's put it location name, and let's refresh. Fingers crossed, our homepage will look better. So instead of those dudes, we will have pictures of cities. Yes, we do have those pictures. So this is exactly how we seeded the locations. Now let's get to seeding venues, and this will be even more interesting. Okay, for the venue seeding, we will use fake data. So we have 4 images from the original theme called Home Space. We have 4 hero images, so we'll create 4 venues. But for that, we will use Faker. So inside of Laravel, you have user factory to seed some dummy data related to particular model, and we can copy and paste that. So we do file save as, and we will create a factory for venue. So venue factory will be associated to venue class, and for that we will need to do some data management. So venue, right, okay. What fields do we need for venue? For venue we need, so this is the empty table, name will be faker name, let it be. Slug will be actually, slug will be a variable, and then we will have name. So here we'll have a name, and here we'll call str slug from name. Right, so name and slug. Then address will be faker address. So a faker is a library to provide fake data with a lot of properties like that. So here you have unique email, you have a lot of other things. So we have address, latitude and longitude, let it be 0 for now for everyone. Or actually, let's do it a random number from -20, from what I remember, to 20. Just random example, latitude and longitude. Longitude will be those random numbers. Then features will be empty. Actually, I think it's nullable. Let's check. So features, everything else is nullable. So we don't need to specify any of those at all. So I will show you a trick here. So factory could be actually, and latitude and longitude is also nullable. Probably even address. No, address is required, right? So name, slug, and address are required. Everything else is optional. So we create a factory with only the required fields. But when doing the seeding, and we actually generate now, so make seeder venues table seeder. venue stable seeder, we will have seeds venue stable seeder. So for I equals 1 to 4, so 4 venues, and then we would do factory for venue class create, and this is how it would work. It will take all the data, all the fields from that factory, use venue, and we'll add anything that we pass in the array here. So create, and we can add whatever else we want. So factory create, for example, address, no, latitude will be random from -20 to 20. Same with longitude. Then description, we don't need description for now. Actually, let's add description. Description faker text, I think. Oh no, let's just skip those because faker should come from the factory. We don't have faker here inside of the seeder. So latitude and longitude, then people minimum would be 1, and people maximum will be random from like 5 to 100. Actually, let's make it random too. So random 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. So it wouldn't be bigger than maximum. Right, price per hour is actually important because we will show price on the homepage. Price per hour should be random from, I don't know, 100 to 1000, for example, and is featured. It should be also random 0 or 1. And I guess that's it. Oh, location ID, that's what we actually need. So location ID equals what? We need all the locations, right? So let's do location all, and we do app location here, and then from location we do locations shuffle, I think, no, random first. I don't remember the syntax, to be honest. That's the beauty of live coding. Let's try it out. First and then ID. Pretty risky because that may not exist. But anyway, let's leave it like this. And we will have venue here. And to venue, we need to assign event types, right? Venue event types is relationship. It should be here. Event types, right? So event types assign or attach, actually attach, that's belong to many relationship, belongs to many, attach event types also, we'll have them here, event types, event type all, use event type. So event types random first ID. And finally, we need to attach those photos, right? So we would do the same thing as in locations table. We will add media from URL. It just will be a different URL. So venue, add media from URL, images, locations. It's not images, locations, it's just images, hero, background, it's not slug, it's ID, or it's venue ID, JPEG, right, to media collection photo, and it's not photo, I think it's, where's the venue, what's the name, it's main photo, so main photo. Whoa, that was pretty big, and let's try if it actually works, my great fresh seed. locations. Of course it worked because I didn't add that to the database header, and we add venues table seeder class here, and try again. Pretty sure I messed something up and forgot something, but let's see. Yep, some error. Public images cannot be reached, so wrong. Hero BG public images. What is wrong here? Public images hero BG5. Oh, BG5, of course. It shouldn't be 5, it should be 1 or 4, because yeah, I had those already. Why is it doing the 5th one? That's interesting. It should be 4. Venues table seeder. Oh, of course. Typo. First C, so it should have done 4 venues, and probably it should work now. Yay, we have venues table seeder, and now we should have 4 venues with some random data, latitude and longitude, and the price and location. Location is 1 for everyone. That's interesting, so that random probably doesn't work. So, and what else? Event type venue, so this should be event type also, so that random doesn't work. We can just delete that, and for now it doesn't actually matter, we can assign this the first one anyway. Alright, so that doesn't work, and aside from that we can go to our home page. Actually, let's go to home controller now, because if you remember in lesson 1 or lesson 2 we hard-coded those featured venues. Now we can delete that hard-coded part and do featured venues equals venues where is featured equals 1, and let's see if we have those. So venues is featured, yeah, we have 2. What a coincidence, we actually need 2. Get, that's it, so is featured get, and in the home blade, instead of doing that array stuff, instead of doing featured venue name, we do proper featured venue name, proper featured venue address, then price should be number format, price should be $, and then number format price per hour, number format, and then featured venue link will be route. So route venue show featured venue ID, and the photo should be also different. So hero image should be main photo, and not even that. We need to have get first media URL main photo. This, what else? So that route doesn't exist yet, and let's create it so we wouldn't get error. So route get venues slug ID, let's put it this way, would be venue controller show, and we'll give it a name, venues show. Okay, I think that's it. Let's try it out. Let's reload our home page. Refresh. And ignition homepage. Property of non-object. Featured venue is not an object. Featured venue, of course, price per hour should be this. Refresh. Another error. Missing route parameters for venue show. Okay, we added a slug. So parameters should be slug and only then ID. So slug and ID. So in the web, I've added those 2 parameters, slug and ID, and I need to specify those when calling the route. I'm actually jumping a little forward, right? But still. Yay, we have our featured image with random name, random address, random price, and link to more detail, which doesn't work yet, and we can click back and forth, left and right. So I guess that's it for this lesson. And oh, we have new venues here as well, those with wrong data, but still we have 4 venues, and we will replace them a little later. But yeah, in this lesson we seeded the data for locations, for event types, and for venues. And in other lesson we'll probably go for listings of the venues, including starting from homepage, and then we go to search for location, for event type, for these links and all of those links for listing of the locations of the venues.